So one of the most infamous segments of EA's investors meeting of an E3 2018 press conference was when they showed like 8 minutes of live gameplay footage for a mobile game. It was bad enough that this mobile game was the most prominently featured presentation of the show as far as live gameplay goes, but the real kicker was when the dust settled and EA revealed the game's title. It turned out that this mobile game was none other than a brand new entry in the Command & Conquer series, a beloved real-time strategy game franchise that many gamers grew up with. Command & Conquer has kind of faded away over the years, losing momentum after EA acquired Westwood Studios, the studio that created the series, which you may recall was eventually shut down in 2003 as part of a familiar pattern of studio serial killing on EA's part. From there, Command & Conquer trekked on for a few more years under EA's umbrella, but ever since, the series has never really achieved the heights of the good old glory days. The last mainline entry was 2010's Command & Conquer 4 Tiberian Twilight, and well, suffice to say that this is a black sheep we do not talk about. It's been over 8 long years since then, and I can imagine there are fans who were hoping that should the series be revived one day, it would be handed off to a talented studio who would give it the proper comeback it deserves, to give it a new lease at life as a full-fledged, real-time strategy game on PC. But EA being EA, what do? They take Command & Conquer and completely bastardize it by turning it into a mobile game. Because it's not enough to just kill the franchise, they have to defile the corpse after digging it back up years later. Now, given how much controversy the news has garnered, it should come as no surprise that this was a prominent topic of discussion during E3 2018, with website GamesIndustry.biz in particular having asked EA Chief Design Officer Patrick Soderlund during an interview about the thought process behind this decision. Here's what Patrick had to say. "For us, I think people make the mistake of saying this is what you really want. Yup, apparently us gamers are making a mistake whenever we express what we want out of our games because we just don't know any better. Apparently gamers are like cattle who need to be herded by shepherd EA because we can't think for ourselves. This is the delusion that EA wants to sell so that like cattle, gamers can continue to be exploited as products for EA's real customers, the investors. Well, guess what, EA? Last time you tried to shepherd gamers with bullshit notions like how microtransactions are great for games because they offer us player choice. Last time you tried to pretend like you know what's best for us. Last time you tried to milk us dry with your greedy antics like Battlefront 2's pay-to-win loot boxes. We rebelled in unprecedented ways, got government officials from around the world involved, and turned you into the gaming industry's laughingstock, as you very well deserve to be given your actions. So yeah, keep it up, keep pushing our buttons, keep telling us we don't know what we want, keep downplaying us like cattle so we can shove this deluded notion right back up your ass just as we did not that long ago." Patrick Soderlund continued, "Mobile is the biggest gaming platform on the planet today. When the team came up with the construct of the game and we realized that there was a great fit for the Command & Conquer brand and we could make the game better as a result, that just felt like the next natural step. RTS games are still relevant in the market and for the most part PC-based, but if you can get a successful multiplayer competitive type RTS game to work well on mobile, we believe that could reach hundreds of millions of players in the world. That's what motivates us to do it." So translation, ignoring the fans' plea for a proper, deep, complex, new Command & Conquer game on PC and appealing to the mobile crowd with a cheap-to-make, stripped-down entry will make us a lot more money. The fact that Patrick can actually say with a straight face that they can make a better Command & Conquer game on mobile goes to show how trained this man is in the art of corporate bullshit. There isn't a universe in which a real-time strategy game on mobile that's purely controlled via simple touch commands will ever live up to the potential depth and complexities offered by a bona fide, full-fledged keyboard and mouse PC RTS. But hey, this is EA. They don't gauge success by the quality of their products and the market leaves in the world. They gauge success by the quantity of units pushed, even if it comes at the price of a game's integrity. Patrick Soderlund continued, "We believe this is a modern, contemporary interpretation of the Command & Conquer brand, but I think mobile scale, not only across age but across gender, made this the natural platform for it. We're going to come to a point where we need to respect mobile games as much as console games. I know that's difficult to see when you come to E3, but our mobile business is growing quite significantly, and we look at those teams with the same value and the same integrity as we look at our console teams, and we believe this is the best interpretation we can do of the brand right now." Oh, I can respect developers making a genuine effort to make a good mobile game that goes above and beyond the cesspool of garbage that is this oversaturated market, but what I cannot respect is a game company taking a beloved series and neutering it for monetary gain. The issue isn't about EA making a mobile game, it's about them exploiting and debasing the Command & Conquer name and identity, just as Konami did with Metal Gear when they released abominations like Snake Eater Pachinko and Metal Gear Survive. In both cases, the publisher didn't make a creative decision. It wasn't about moving the creative boundaries of a series forward. It was about taking advantage of name recognition to sell low-effort, hollow cash grabs. EA could have easily made this RTS mobile game a brand new IP, but that wouldn't make as many headlines or get as much attention, now would it? Moving on, Patrick was asked if the value in the Command & Conquer brand lies with a core fanbase that deeply cares about the franchise or with the IP's name recognition that might reach more casual audiences, to which he responded as follows, "I think it's a little bit of both. When we started looking at this, we said, okay, the Command & Conquer brand brings an IP that makes a game more interesting with the factions, the economy in there, and everything people relate to. It's also hopefully a flirt with people like you and I who grew up playing Red Alert and all these games. It feels familiar, like this is back in a relevant way. And when you have a catalog of properties like we do, sometimes it makes sense to resurrect them, and sometimes it doesn't. In this particular instance, with the game design the team had, the Command & Conquer brand just fit." Oh, fuck off with that nonsense. Flirt with people who grew up with these games? Not a single Command & Conquer fan will look at this and go, this is familiar, this is what we wanted, this is the Command & Conquer we knew and loved, but back in a relevant way. If anything, it's painful for fans to acknowledge this mobile game, as its existence will serve as a constant reminder that Command & Conquer died with EA's acquisition. What Andrew Wilson said during EA's E3 2018 press conference tells you exactly all you need to know about the company's intentions with this game.
Command & Conquer for a new generation.
Command & Conquer for a new generation, he says. Basically, fuck the generation that grew up with this series. Let's leave them behind so we can milk the wallets of a new generation dry. Ladies and gentlemen, if it wasn't clear before, it should be crystal clear now. EA doesn't give a shit about you. Whether you're a Star Wars fan, a Mass Effect fan, a Command & Conquer fan, or a fan of any EA-owned franchise, they have zero sympathy for appealing to what we want out of these beloved long-standing game series. It is not about what we want, it is about what EA wants, what they financially can gain out of something. Which is why the notion they want to sell is that we don't know any better, that we don't know what we want, and that we're making the mistake of expressing our desires and our criticisms, all in a piss-poor attempt to justify the butchering of renowned studios and franchises. The only ones EA is ever looking out for is EA and its cohorts of investors who don't care one iota about the shady means by which EA meets financial expectations, as long as they get the results. We have to respect mobile games, says Patrick Soderlund, missing the point of the backlash while showing little respect or regard for the Command & Conquer fan base, an appropriate representation of EA's business model as a whole. It is what makes gamers dread EA acquisitions of game studios and IPs. History has proven time and again that they'll pull all stops to push their financial agenda by any means necessary, and it's robbed one too many games of its potential. Until there's a shakeup in EA's leadership, so long as the likes of Andrew Wilson and Patrick Soderlund continue to express such apathy and indifference towards the treasure trove of IPs under their umbrella, their respective communities, and the medium that they represent, I don't expect this pattern to change anytime soon. With that, I would like to end this news update and discussion video. Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoy my content and would like to support this channel directly, consider donating on Patreon. And to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Yong Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Yong out.